again, Saturday morning, episode 9.
Episode 9, Bernie.
I want to get stuck into it.
How's things, man?
Not a bother, man, yourself.
All good, buddy. All
What
good.
are we going to call this place? We call it the Crow's Nest or something. maybe.
Yeah. The cave.
The cave,
Yeah, with the green light and.
Very small.
Yeah, look, it's nice and comfy.
This is the job, lad. It's not too bad.
Yeah.
We're on the strap of the powers today, lad.
Good stuff. Thanks to you, Bren.
Yeah. Let's get into it here. So we
Yeah, have a little sit there.
can't
Just
beat the
warm up.
powers. My own father was always a powers man.
Was he?
Yeah.
You like a bit of that yourself, yeah?
Yeah, I don't mind a bit of powers now, in fairness. Yeah, it's grand. I used to
That's
say,
risky.
miserable out there, isn't it? Huh?
It is, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
miserable out there, so yeah.
Yeah, the wind is swirling well up, Bren.
Yeah, definitely, man. Yeah. Any out hunting? What's going to be going on?
What do we get up to? Well, look, me and you got out for a couple of shots during the week. But aside from that, I haven't got out rough shooting. I might get out for a couple of hours in the morning. Get the dogs out. But other than the bit we did, very little. Yourself?
Nah, not a whole bite. Was it last Sunday? I think was I out for a deer last Sunday? No joy either. But a big learning curve. I think definitely for myself. Yeah.
That's it.
So
If you don't win, you learn, Bren.
that's exactly it, man. Yeah, exactly. So it wasn't too bad. So a few things in place now to. They could never guarantee success in fairness, but I know exactly what I've a fair idea where I was going wrong.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
Yeah. So
And that'll be a constant evolution. I think we're all in that. You learn the conversation we're after having with another man there. Like you learn something new every day.
Without a shadow, there's the best 100 in the world, and lads that are at years and they'll have days where they go, it just doesn't work for them.
And they're still pull a lesson or something out of the water, you know.
Without a shadow, without.
So slaunch your Bren. First things first.
Good luck,
Cheers,
good health, and I suppose happy Christmas, I suppose.
Happy Christmas. Yeah, we're getting there, man.
We're not far off. Oh, you can't beat it. That's good stuff.
Yeah, nice.
That is good stuff. That is. I think
Paris wants to sponsor us over the Christmas. Send us on another bottles there.
I like it. It will be honestly one of my favourites.
Yeah.
It definitely is. It's
lovely and smooth.
It's so smooth, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's no real sharpness or and severe to it. So it's definitely my go-to for a nice hot whiskey. Which
There you go.
I think
Happy
might be
days.
on the menu for later on, I think.
Will you? Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. I might do. Yeah. I might have Saturday night now. I'm going out to get me shed ready for me cool room and me butcher and me man
Station.
to all sorts of. It'll be pretty cold and wet. This evening,
So well earned. It'll be well earned.
Well earned, without a shadow of a doubt. So we're going to, I suppose, diverge into. It was our first time actually hunting together.
Yeah.
That's true.
Which is
isn't it?
mad. Yeah.
Which is mad, in fairness. Yeah.
We were actually discussing when we were out for a hunt. It was because probably this time last year we didn't really know each other. I don't think. Or well, just about.
Just about.
Yeah. Brenny was giving me a dig out with some of my stuff, and you do a bit of shooting, and I do a bit. That's and quite quickly, as most hunters do, you realise you've a lot of things in common.
Yeah.
But we do have a lot of things in common, as we spoke just before the podcast.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Some things we wouldn't like to have in common, but anyway.
It's almost weird.
Yeah, but deadly stuff. Good taste in music, taste in whiskey, and obviously the hunting.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. It's mad, isn't it? It's there's like a group of people, and they just have these similar.
It's mad. Look, you get drawn to people of similar ilk, I think,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, country music, good whiskey, and
guns.
Bit of guns. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, guns.
Anything happening in the club, Brad?
What's been going on? I actually haven't been out there now in a while, to be honest with you. Just a few bits and pieces. Kind of been focusing, I suppose, on the deer. I suppose obviously we're both been busy with the podcast and stuff. So I might actually get out in the morning. I think now maybe for a shot. Yeah. So we've still a couple of birds we wanted out. And I think I'll have to talk to the chairman on this now. But I think we might be organising a falconry day one of the days now, maybe before Christmas. So
brilliant.
Bit of organising that way. What about yourself?
Yeah, we're doing a few bits in the club actually. There's, like what you said, it's hard to get time to do everything at the minute. But told you we're doing a little bit of a fundraising drive, so we're trying to get a little bit of money into the club for next year. We've changed our system, as you know.
Yeah.
So we're going to get some big numbers of birds out next year. Hopefully that's the plan. And maybe a little bit of game crop and stuff. So obviously to do all of this, to do anything, you need money.
Yeah.
So I was up at the Pen. When was it? Thursday or Friday? Can't remember which. No, it was Thursday. Because yesterday was Friday. And yeah, just having a look at the birds. With Noel's up there, he's telling them doing he's head gamekeeper up there. So yeah, doing all that, keeping the traps set for the mink and stuff like that. And yeah, the pheasants are in great condition up there, man.
Brilliant.
Beautiful condition, you know. So so we're going to phase release them now over Christmas, and yeah, he checks the feeders and stuff like that, and I don't know whether anyone for the feed we got this year for peas in it, you know.
Yes.
And while great feeding, if you're throwing it on the ground, it's a nightmare for the springs, you know. So we just have to we're kind of sieving them as we go now, because if one of them gets through or two of them blocks the feeder, the grain gets wet and you're throwing out drum. So anyway, that's by the by. But yeah, the calendar is almost finalised. A lot of work. Thomas Fallon actually, Tom actually works with me. Myself and Tom started together in Valley View Construction, and Tom has been with me ever since. And he's an avid wildlife photographer. Brilliant summer photos and amazing. You'll see him on Facebook actually.
Sorry, no. Did he take those photos?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
The majority of them, yeah.
Man, because I've seen this poster and the photos blew
Stunning.
me away.
They're stunning, yeah.
That's something I didn't actually know. That's unbelievable.
He'd sent me again. I'll probably put it up on Instagram to drive a few people to see what he does, you know. But he's on some of the wildlife photography groups, and Tom was the most down to earth, unassuming man. He just, you know, it's all right, you know, that'll be his. But some of them are out of this world, and you could have filled 10 calendars with some of the stuff. Birds feeding, the opportune moment. It's just, and it's a pastime of his. So he kindly donated a lot of the greylag goose and pheasants and stuff like that. So photographs the fox and the sika.
I honestly thought, I'm not just saying this because we're recording, we are recording this is a video out here. I genuinely thought that was like an archive from like National Geographic or something.
No,
that is absolutely unbelievable.
It's unreal, isn't it?
Jesus, man, you have to. When people see this thing.
Yeah, it's brilliant. So we've managed to get 52 or 53 local sponsors. Again, one of the local, Kevin Kine actually, who I bought my quad off, was one of the main sponsors just across the way, among others. Gratefully donated. So the sponsors will be all over the calendar and stuff like that. I might even throw up a link to it when more. But yeah, and so that's going to drum up a little few bob and get it back into the club and get more pheasants. We're buying a few hen pheasants. We're starting to breed a few. We're going to buy in poults early doors, get them released, and then we're going to buy in probably a few adult birds as well, just to keep every angle happy until we do the full transition of the garden.
I understand. You'll be covering all angles.
Yeah. Because obviously the last thing you want to change is you change over and a mishap, and then everyone's saying no, we're not going to do that again. So trying to do all angles, and then we've taken a big estate beside us as a sanctuary. We've Noel again has worked hard on getting that included in the club. So there's a couple of 100 acres there for a sanctuary, which we're hoping that we might be able to even get a game crop around it. So it's all kind of happening, which is great. It's great, but it keeps you busy, Brendan.
It does, but I was just going to say that, and that like, it's interesting to see. People might not realise this, but and even maybe certain club members probably don't realise it. But you're obviously the chairman of your club. I'm the secretary of my club. But you know, for us, when the 1st November comes, that's not it. You know, we don't just go right. That's it. Just shoot away, lads. Back.
Our 1st November starts this year.
Exactly. It's a constant thing. But
look, honoured. This is my first year as chairman. Honoured to being chosen by the lads. Look at trying to bring it just a little bit further than it was last year. That's all we're trying to do.
Yeah, that's it, bit by bit. Yeah, and sure, again, massive amount of conservation there, on the at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and that's the whole thing. Obviously, I think probably across the board, people have seen a decrease in numbers anyway. You know,
Yeah.
I think that's
Yeah.
the general consensus. You know,
Absolutely.
in most clubs. Yeah, just we're doing, which we're talking about this episode is the Fox
I
Drive
was just going to say that
tomorrow
later,
morning. So I might get up for that and maybe a little bit of rough shooting thereafter. My young man's playing rugby, as you know, at 1 o'clock, so I'll have to be done and dusted before that.
Yeah.
But yeah. So the fox hunt is
Essential part of it.
fox control
Mm-hmm.
is essential part.
Yeah.
Which needs us fantastic. Why do we fox hunt, Brenny?
Why do we fox hunt? Well, well, I suppose. Look, I'm not gonna cower away from the fact it's a part of the hunt that I do enjoy it. But the reason we do it is not to get the satisfaction of going out and killing an animal. It's for us. It's the preservation of all these other animals, these other wild games, wild birds that not too long ago were fairly, frequent. You could see them, I know lads that 10, 15 years ago would hunt all season and get birds galore. We're in no gun club and didn't rear any birds.
Yeah.
We're just along hedge lines here, there, and everywhere. That's obviously not the case anymore.
Yeah.
And so we have to look at the national predators, and of course the main one there that I suppose not the main one, but the one we can hunt and we can officially control is the fox.
At the minute, yeah.
At the minute.
And that's again, and we talked about this morning, why we're probably not going to sit here and say, you're not going to justify to people who don't like shooting foxes,
Mm-hmm.
But we are trying to explain to a general population that without the unfortunate casualty of some animals, there wouldn't be the other animals.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And we've both known, like between even rabbits and hares and pheasants, and even hen pheasants, Jesus, I could have, I told you, down around the home place, I could, somebody asked me, where could I see a hen pheasant? I could nearly walk them down, I could nearly tell them where they were going to be, and this year I have, it's getting harder year on year, so, and that is because, and I've noticed, if I talk to the lads in the club, the old timers, I hope they don't mind me calling them that, but the boys with the experience, the vermin control was a big deal back in the day, and it was kept managed.
Yeah, because it was not only was it there was you could make a few bob out of it. There was people making a living out of it. Yeah.
And you also had the hunt essentially.
Which was a lot more common back then.
And then obviously, and we're not saying this is the only reason. Obviously, crop and farming, the change in farming behaviours, has coincided with the decline in some of the birds.
Yeah.
But definitely, foxes are more prevalent.
Without a doubt.
We were out the other night,
Yeah.
what, 7 conservatively?
7 officially. We
Yeah.
could say that we seen and we weren't out too long. And we
Too
didn't go
long,
too
yeah.
far, really.
Yeah, exactly.
fairness,
And we didn't even cover probably one of what I would call the hot spots. Where we didn't get down there, just the weather turned and we had some mishaps, which we'll be discussing.
Yeah.
But so they're far more prevalent.
Yeah.
Far more prevalent,
I was talking just even to another member of our gun club, and he'd be a great man with a rifle too, would be Gaza. We thought we had our vermin fairly well under control in the club this year, because we had gone out glamping. We used to go out every Friday night, and we'd gone out every Friday night, and then we were seeing less and less, and then there was Friday nights going out where we wouldn't see one at all, which was so very, very unusual. And we literally, honestly, I'd say if we gave it a break for maybe not even 4 weeks, and he was out the other night tending to some of the herd, and four in one farm we seen. Varied in small areas. I'm talking about farm 150 acres, so they're back, they're there.
I was talking actually just from the fields behind where we were shooting the first spot the other night. A local farmer there who used to hunt and shoot, but he's he's tied up with work and farming, but he's a predominantly sheep farmer, and he'd have a couple of hundred ewes, and obviously during the lambing, vermin control for him is extremely important, because again, for people who don't know, small lambs, especially vulnerable lambs, don't get up, pop up straight away.
Yep.
The foxes are on the prowl. They'll walk between the herd and they'll keep an eye on what's going on, and they are a predator.
Yeah.
They will nab a lamb like a light,
No doubt, yeah.
and it's been seen, where they'll create a little diversion. One will come in and one will come around, and so they can do that.
They're masters at it.
Mm-hmm. So they're not just, they just don't stumble upon a bit of dead meat, and they're the predators, which is fine, But he was telling me that before the lambing this year, he took 17 fox out of that. Not just behind him, and we've seen what 3, 4. Just enough for
and that was when we went out, we were early, and it was shocking weather. So who's to say, and now later they could have been twice that out,
Twice that out. That just tells you the numbers that they're in a very small area, So it's a necessary thing. I'm not going to call it necessary evil, because I don't believe it to be evil. I just believe it to be an essential part of country life.
Absolutely. Yeah, of course. Without a doubt.
And that doesn't, as you say, we don't go out and throw the guns up and arms up in the air when you shoot one. It's quite quickly you move on to the next one and try and keep the numbers down. That's just it.
Without a doubt, 100%, but they're everywhere. I think I sent you the picture the other night. Came home the other night, and was it 4 o'clock in the morning? I have a link. What is it? It's a SpyPoint Link Micro, the trail camera set up at the back of the house here, and I had the internals of a rabbit that I was after cleaning out there, and 4, half 4 in the morning, the beautiful picture of a fox made his way into my garden, and
he's helping himself.
Exactly.
And maybe another pair of eyes in the back there as well. So
but that's right, actually. Did you see that after? On the flash, on the infrared flash, you can quite clearly see. There is another set of eyes there. So
so look, it just shows you that they're because you're not. I think again, we're out walking, living, breeding it. We see them. We know the kind of populations that are there. And obviously then our friend the buzzard is firmly in that mix as well.
Yeah, absolutely,
It'll be a matter of time, but in true probably Irish style, we wait till it becomes
too late. Absolutely,
So
whatever, it's hard to. Again, I people will strongly disagree with this, but I see a day when the wildlife conservation, various wildlife conservation associations out there will turn to game clubs for help. And I think that's
and that's I think do your club are they members of any of do you hand in your vermin for counting or no?
Not at the minute, but we are waiting to hear word back on a move to
NARGC. I think I've been filling out my bag count, which I haven't done this week. Even if we were out the other night and we seen woodcock, hares, rabbits.
The amount of hares was unbelievable. We see the amount of hares, didn't we?
I think, what do we see in the first field? There was at least 4 or 5.
Oh, at least I'd say. Well, the first, and then the one behind that as well. You can see them. That was right. Definitely 4 or 5 there.
4 or 5 there. And that's only the ones we seen, obviously. And rabbits, snipe. Your hearing was far better than mine. I seen a couple of snipe getting up. You were hearing flocks.
I couldn't just believe the amount of snipes was getting up. And great to see a couple of woodcock too. Fantastic to see a couple of woodcock.
Glanced into the field at first. You quite quickly spotted the woodcock. I didn't spot him quite as quickly as you, but so great. That's a great sign.
Fantastic.
But wouldn't be possible without the control of the vermin. So
your mate get them 17 foxes out there. I can guarantee you, if he had one, then you'd not be seeing woodcock in that.
No,
I wish I had
not. Because again, you can describe woodcock are probably easy enough prey.
Well, they're nest on the ground, unfortunately.
So and this time of the year, they're a great source of food for our friend the fox. So look at that. So think to again try and put a bit of parameter around it. This is and I think the guys in the hunt and stuff, no matter what kind of fox hunt, we have our own preferential, and we're not saying that any one of them is right or wrong.
No.
It's the one we do. I'll be out tomorrow with a different myself and Brenny were out Wednesday night.
Wednesday night, yeah.
And we were using, we're out, essentially lamping, at night.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow morning we will be doing a different type. We'll be doing Fox Drive. And again Noel will know a couple of spots where he's seen the foxes coming and going. So they use kind of similar routes, and we'll target them routes, because again our pheasant pens are prime targets for foxes, so we have to keep them keep the pheasants safe. And so that's and the two different rigs, Brenny, is like Jesus, I was like Fred Flintstone going out with my old rig, all I wanted was the front muzzle loaded going. But
that bad, is it?
no, the two different rigs. So mine, I haven't done as much lamping as Brenny. Again, will be predominantly with guns and driven. So I really kind of probably started that with the rifle in the last year or so.
Yeah.
So what I started was, I've just been rifle and scope, and I've a nice little cheap and cheerful torch.
Yeah.
And then we take, I think it was 50 quid, but powerful enough.
Idea, yeah.
And I have a little, because again I'm predominantly doing it on my own, which I'm finding obviously I'm hinting towards a lovely scope like yours. But in the interim, I have a little mount for the top of my it's like a double C clamp on top of my scope.
Yeah.
My little torch fits into that. And then the problem I had the other night, I went out the Thursday night after we went out.
Okay, yeah.
Is that you have to use the gun, and I need a second torch.
To shine, yeah.
You know what I mean? So you'd have the gun sitting on your shoulder, and you could use the torch then for dancing. So I'm going to get another torch. And
it's tricky now. I had done it before I had the thermal, and even going out on your own, it's tricky. Even if you have an independent torch, the thing is like, if you get one on, then you have to off with that one onto the rifle. And then see, was he there? Was he? You know what I mean? Was he 10 yards that way? Do you know what I mean?
So Brenny has a lovely setup. He has a lovely head torch.
Yeah, I use a cheetah head torch, 50 quid. You get them in any, well, I won't say any, but you get them most agricultural,
supply stores.
Supply stores is where I get them. Yeah, I think they're actually made in Ireland.
Very good.
Cheetah, about 50, 60 quid, rechargeable. Just, you've seen the distance, like it's class. Like it's there's a fair.
Because all you want to do is to scan the field, pick up a set of eyes, and then you can set up your rig.
I switch over then to my rig then,
So that's essentially the two difference in the two.
100%, yeah.
Mine is a bit more primitive, so my light illuminates my scope.
Yeah.
And then a fox obviously has a different set of eyes than the animals we're looking. So if you're looking into a field with sheep or
green, you'd see a greeny
tinge off them, and
foxes will be an amber, like our Powers whiskey here.
Yeah.
You can see them shining back at you, yeah.
Like the devil's eyes.
The devil's eyes, exactly, yeah. So mine is I'm just using it's of my rifle. I've a Howa and a 243. She's battered and bruised, but she still works. And I recently bought the ATN 4K 5x20 night vision. Happy enough with it now. You had a look through.
It's fantastic.
It's a good job, isn't it?
It's brilliant.
It is a good job,
brilliant.
Batteries on my on my infrared torch though.
So we backtrack. We were in the first field, and obviously then we quite quickly decided. Obviously it was our first time shooting together, so I brought mine with my setup, and then we quite quickly decided, look, this is kind of one man with the torch scanning, the other man with the scope. So I had put my gun away and brought my torch, and we had trekked down a fair distance and called in a little beauty, and he was horsing towards us.
Horsing it, absolutely.
And Brenny had to shout at him, "Hey, stop there!"
Stop.
So took a stop, and I straight on the money. Then the Brenny's IO went, the batteries went.
Just looking through it, and of course, because it's not, it just slowly faded, and then that was it.
That was it.
And what is going on here? Bang, turn it back on. By the time I had my eye onto it again, it had faded again.
Yeah.
And of course, the worst thing with my scope is it doesn't work like you have day and night mode, but day mode won't really work with a lamp. Like it's
Yes,
not the
yeah,
same. As,
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's not the same because you're looking through a screen.
The
as
screen
opposed
more
to
so than a scope.
a scope. Yeah, exactly. So that was a nightmare. yeah.
So and then quite quickly then, obviously we were too far away to go back and get mine and go back out.
Yeah.
So quite quickly then we decided we'd well we have a little caveat to the story, but yeah, we started to backtrack then because the rain was hammering down.
Hammering down was right, yeah. Hammering down, yeah.
So yeah, we went back up, got my gun, and we said we chanced one little, because on the way back up actually, back out of that field, two foxes winded us, wasn't that right?
Correct and right, yeah,
Well, we
yeah.
thought it was two foxes. There was actually one fox.
One fox, and the other one was a.
Well, we're assuming.
Yeah.
So the two of them with us wouldn't come next or near us, and so we trekked on back, grabbed mine. I said, the wind had just, or the rain has kind of tapered off
A little bit, yeah.
And so we did a bit of shy talking to do. So we said we'd hammer on for another little while.
Truck on, yeah.
And we were going down this little lane down to a backfield. It's not a lane. It's essentially you use a cow path, and in between a hedge and a fence. And I seen it, just a glimpse, a little white, and I said, "Oh Jesus!" And so clipped off the torch. Turned off the torch, and Bernie said to me, "He's not more than 20 yards away from you there."
I didn't know if you could see him or not.
Jeez, I'm going to go over this fella. 20 yards.
I got so excited. I was like, does Andy see him? And I was like he's literally
just
right fucking there. Yeah.
And so out the sticks came, got the gun up, on with the torch, cat.
Out comes fucking Garfield.
And I wouldn't mind, I called him in further even. I said, will this fella come to the call? And sure he did, yeah. So that was the...
So because a lot of people would be skeptical and say, "Oh, what's you next?" The cat is alive. I'm sure he's fucked off wherever he came from.
With a few courses behind him.
A few courses behind him as well. Yeah. We did get one, but we.
Yeah, you could not.
It was kind of where we shot. Was right at the edge of kind of a river.
Yeah.
It's very overgrown and there's a lot of water obviously this time of year. He definitely went down without a shadow of a doubt.
I was on the torch. I seen him. I had him obviously in torch, and I had a probably better view than you with your night scope. And definitely keeled.
Yeah.
But we had to make our way back. We were just so there's a little kind of ditch.
Yeah.
And we had to make our way back up the road a couple of 100 meters.
Yeah.
Out through a gap into the field and then try and trace our tracks back across. It was
horrendous rain.
It was now. You couldn't. I was coursing with my glasses, which I said before. It's horrendous to see. And you're trying to face into the wind with the torch, with the rain beating your face.
Yeah,
trying to figure out where this fella dropped.
Yeah, 100%.
But we got one on the board. So
yeah.
No, it was good night.
It was a great night, 100%. Yeah, exactly. And I tell you, it'll give you all the more enthusiasm to go back. Like, you know what I mean? You'll be back. You were back on Thursday night.
I went back out Thursday night on my own. I thought I was mad, but it was a lovely clear night actually.
Oh, actually was, yeah.
And I probably could have done with a bit of wind. If I'm being honest, it was really calm. I found it gusted up a little bit and then died completely, like clear skies.
Yeah.
But like that, I called in the first field actually. But I found him I probably should have left it for a week or so maybe.
Okay.
But called one in. He came right around to the right hand side, very cagey,
trying to
win me.
Yeah.
Came up and wouldn't come any further. Then came in under a couple of yards.
Okay.
Put the nose up and fecked off.
Gone.
So and then where else did I see one? Oh yeah, down that long lane.
The long lane.
The cat essentially.
Down there. Yeah.
The to the left in that field, to the left hand side.
The left hand side,
right in the corner, he came up in that corner, perked his pair of beady eyes at me, came across that ditch, down through the ditch, and he was looking through the hedge, the far side of me.
No way.
It would not come
out.
It would not come out.
Yeah.
And I stood there, I probably tried to call him for about maybe 20 minutes.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah.
I put the lamp on him, he'd pick up the nose, and back there again. No way would he come any further. So, probably a little bit of turbulence from the night before, maybe.
Yeah, probably.
You know,
Right,
So we'll leave it for a week or two, and we'll get out again.
Yeah.
Hopefully next week, maybe.
Yeah,
We'll
100%, definitely,
train,
yeah, be on for that, yeah.
Funny enough, funny story. Aaron actually sent me. I'll send you the pictures. The following morning, Friday morning, she was going out for school, and here was a hen pheasant just on the top of the lane. It's just there where we were shooting. So that was beautiful to see.
I didn't see that, yeah.
So all the more important that we try and make a little bit of space for them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, to give you a push on when you know they're there, you kind of want to try and help you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. But no, it was good by all accounts. I didn't get to hear a crack out of 6.5 yet, but I can't wait actually.
Yeah. the Rob has christened it the biggest crack out of a gun he's ever
I see.
had the pleasure of. That was without the suppressor when we were zeroing it when I got it first.
Okay, well, that was without the suppressor.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And I think I was the Hornadies. I think I was using at that time, and yeah, they were 140 grain, but there was a fair whack off.
Fair whack off. Okay. With the suppressor now, was it much of a difference?
Yeah, which is chalk and cheese. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Chalk and cheese, but still a fair whack out.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, no, I feel it grand. Look at it. Does what it says in the tin, right?
Yeah.
I'm not a. How would you say? I'm not. I don't shoot enough to justify having, probably and my gun gets battered. Like what we're shooting, you see it there. It should feel it.
Yeah.
I'm happy enough with it.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
For a while.
Yeah, for a while. Yeah.
There's a lovely one on the back of Rural Pursuits, the Bergara as well. So that would get your juices flowing. But anyway, look, we'll see.
Yeah, sure. No, I understand. I think the only thing, and
you have a bit of bother with your gun there, don't you?
Yeah, there's a bit going on with the safety and stuff, and I'm just not 100% happy with. Yeah, and it's heavy. My gun is heavy.
Compared to mine, even I thought mine was heavy enough, but compared to mine, yours is a big
heavy. Yeah.
And probably with all the bits and pieces and a fair bit of shooting gone through it, you're probably as well to.
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so. And that's why lads used to always say to me, "Oh, just not put a set of bipods on it." I'm like, "No way, it's too heavy. It's heavy as it is." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is seriously heavy as it is, because it has the varying powers, the heavy barrel, and it's very fucking heavy.
Yeah. Look at it. Does the job.
Oh yeah.
Again, for a bit of comfort going forward. Probably.
Yeah. I think I might change. I want to change it. I want to change my shotgun. I want to change. I'm thinking of going away to the 2.2s with 1.7, and I don't know what to do. I don't know. Do you only put money more thought into a 2.2 for yourself?
Yeah, I think probably we'll discuss over the podcast over next. I think I might just go for the application. Maybe go for a nice 2.2. Yeah. Because it's nice to see there is a few rabbits there.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
It'll be.
Or a 1.7.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to know.
Why are you thinking 1.7 rather than 2.2?
1.7 is plenty good for foxes.
Yeah.
And it's plenty good for rabbits, but you'd want to be going for a headshot because it can just do too much damage. And you'll get them. Like, people that argue this, man, look, I know this, I'm not saying, like, there's lads out there that are class, and I'm sure they'll take the eye over rabbit with a 2.2 at 150 yards, okay? But for 95% of the other idiots like myself, 50, 60 yards
is your max.
It's what you're going to, you'll be comfortable. But you can probably add another 20, 30 yards comfortably enough with a 1.7, provided everything's set right and happy enough. I've seen lads use them, and they're buying on, they're pretty good. So
then, cost difference in ammo, is there much of a difference?
I don't think there's a massive difference. No, I don't think I actually didn't check it, but I don't think there's a massive difference now, to be fair.
So then, just for people that don't know, we're talking about a 2.2 rifle, so ammo's cheap as chips.
Yeah, I think because €15 for 50 rounds.
50 rounds, yeah. So like you get, and they're not powerful. When I say not powerful, do you know what I mean? They're what would you say? Their lethal range is greatly reduced compared to the rifles that we're talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Definitely.
The 2.2 bullets are what? Rounds are.
Yeah.
They're little
tiny.
Yeah,
when you put one beside
a 6x5 or 2.43,
yeah.
So, but ideal for rabbits.
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I tell you what I did notice. I don't know that we speak about it on the other podcast. There's there's a name on them now, but I think Sports down in Avon, there's a few crowds that sell them. There's a round you can get for a 2-2, and it's actually like buckshot.
Right.
So you can, the idea of it is you can shoot pigeons inside the shed and it won't go through.
The galvanise.
Yeah.
Very
So it's
good.
actually like, I think now, I could be wrong on this, just from looking at it, physically looking at it, it actually works like a cartridge. It shoots a shot
Okay.
out.
Should be interested in seeing that.
Yeah,
because
yeah, honest to God,
that
yeah.
would
Brilliant.
that would open up,
100%.
you know, and that would probably nail my decision in terms of the 2-2 then. you
Yeah,
know.
honest to God, yeah,
Yeah.
because like a lot of lads say we'll go for an air rifle if they're an issue with pigeons in the grain shed or something.
Yeah.
Because the first thing they don't want to put holes through the
Yeah.
galvanise, like, you know what I mean. So
And a big thing over across the water is I follow the air rifle guys, and they do a lot of pigeon shooting, obviously, you know, because again for people who don't realise, feral pigeons in sheds, extremely dangerous because they crap in food and they roost up in the lovely rafters, and if one of them comes in, the family are following quite quickly thereafter, and they bring all the relatives as well. So yeah, and they're a nuisance. They'll rip apart feed bags, they'll shit everywhere, and it's I actually know firsthand a guy I used to do a bit of work for, a friend of mine. He worked over in England, and one of his a close friend of his died actually from, they were clearing out building with pigeon, and there's a disease you can get from the crap essentially. You know?
Yeah.
So it's highly toxic, and so yeah, they need to be again managed.
And you know, it's interesting to see that I knew I heard that somewhere, and I said it to a few people, and they said, "No, Jesus, I've never heard that." So I definitely knew that it's a, what would you say? It's almost, it's probably different, but it's like wheels disease, but or do you know what I mean?
Yes,
it's
exactly.
something along the lines.
Affects. I think no, and again, I'm not an expert in this because I only met this man once or twice maybe. But a young fit man, which they were clearing out an old, I think it was an old religious order building they were converting and stuff. And of course they got actually guys in to get rid of the pigeon, but he was cleaning up the
feces
and whatever happened.
Yeah.
It was some sort of a respiratory, you know, his system essentially shut down.
Jesus.
He got really unwell for a while, kind of picked up, and then went and died
Oh my God.
shortly thereafter. So yeah, it's not nice stuff, and it's not obviously it's not nice for animals in sheds and feed and stuff like that. So they're quite plentiful up in towns and stuff like that. So yeah, they're
A pest.
a pest that needs to be managed.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But they do a lot of air rifle over there for pigeon. They got distracted there, and rats.
And rats too. Yeah.
Yeah. So the shot would be lovely. You could double up with your obviously you have your 2-2 for your rabbits and stuff, but if you have the shot then inside sheds, you can manage.
100%.
The scope, and you could have
you could have
you could bang away.
great sport. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I tell you, like even a day on the pigeons, like Jesus, right with it back, like
It's good shooting.
Yeah, it's great shooting, brilliant shooting, 110%. You know, but so I don't know. I'm tired with the idea of going to the 1-7, but for reasons like that, I'm thinking maybe I'll stay with 2-2. So.
And you have a scope in your 2-2, Brent?
Yeah, scope and all. It came with it. It's not hectic. But
it does the job.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
There's no issue that way at all. So I bought second hand. Bought the whole rig second hand off Lakeland Shooting Centre a couple of years ago.
How much, Frank?
I bought that, just the scope, the rifle and the scope, like with the mounts and all that. And it had a magazine for, I'm thinking maybe €400-500. Something along those lines. It wasn't dear. CZ Bruno. Bulletproof, everybody knows them, loves them. Do you know what I mean? They're just no nonsense.
Well, I tell you, we might even have a trip down to Wild Hunter or one of the lads, and do a bit of scope and get the application in, because it's the thoughts of it.
Process. Oh, jeez. Would you be okay? I think you'll be alright. You'll be fine. Do you know what I mean?
No, it's just more of a nuisance.
I know. 100%.
Because you go in, you get excited, you pick out the gun, the scope, and you're, am I going to have, and then you're
ringing. I know, 100%. It's not.
They don't make it easy.
They do not make it easy, man.
I'm looking probably ready so, but
Yeah.
geez, they could make a little bit more.
I think it could be a streamlined
streamlined.
process for it. You know, surely to Jesus they could do things now like where it's like you upload your information. Do you know what I mean? Like
If you're a member of a gun club, if
Yeah.
you have previous issue with guns,
yeah,
you know you have your safe and your alarm and
yeah,
you're insured. All them. If you're taking
yeah.
a certain range of box, there should be a more. What would you say? Like the Ryanair, the fast track kind of.
Fast track,
Yeah.
100%,
Do you know what I mean?
This lad's good. He's
Yeah.
good because how do we know he's good? Well, because we checked it.
6.5 and 55 and a shotgun.
Exactly, the shotgun. Yeah,
It's not-
we've cleared it for them. So
Yeah.
there's not going to be an issue with a fucking 2-2 like or whatever the case may be. You know.
But they won't.
They won't.
It'll be
That's
seen
not
as
going to happen.
a gun.
Yeah.
And we'll have to go through the process of hoping. But again, we were due to actually talk to one of the FOs, I think, weren't we?
Yeah, we are. I'm going to make contact with him before I name him. But yeah, we're going to definitely.
So we might just try and. I know we're actually. This is probably the way this podcast goes at times. we do it on the cuff sometimes.
Yeah.
So yeah, we might try and tie that whole thing into
That'd be great. Yeah,
my
yeah.
application.
Your application, get
To
them on,
get them
sort
on.
it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
You know,
without a shadow
try
of
and
a doubt.
stream it.
Yeah, not a bad idea. No,
Yeah.
yeah. So, what else are we going to do? What's you were saying we're going to get the knife or Mountain Man knives.
Yes, remember nice. So Fran O'Toole, who is currently, and the people who are following us on at the Irish Hunting Podcast on Instagram will see we're posting kind of bi-daily updates. So he's keeping me in close communication. I'm just putting up some of some of the photos, but yeah,
looks wicked.
yeah.
I have so much questions for that. But you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so this is a craft, it's a skill, you know what I mean? It's not it's not a skill that everyone is blessed with.
Yeah.
And even what people probably won't see behind the scenes, there's a sheath for the knife, you know, and there's a design for that, and he's sketched that out, you know, for me, and we've gone back and forward tweaks on that. Very detailed guy.
Oh yeah.
Everything is, you know, millimeter perfect.
Yeah.
Very intricate. So yeah, and I think I was talking to him before he came on. I think around next weekend it's going to be finished. So what I was hoping we do is we take the delivery of the knife and the sheath, and then we can have it in front of us and ask him, you know, how did you do that? Why did you do that?
Exactly.
You know,
Without a doubt, yeah.
the list from of questions that people will be, and then he's a hunter himself.
Brilliant.
So we've killed two birds with the proverbial bullet, you know.
Yeah. 100%.
Get him chatting about his how did you start?
Yeah. It's a fascinating process that goes into it, isn't it? It's a mixture. It's scientific in one way, and it's pure craftsmanship.
Going back into the days of old, you know what I mean, in another way.
So, like if he's listening, which I think he better be, Fran, I'm
He does.
getting one. I am getting one.
Yeah.
I want to put in an order. I just need to
Bite the bullet.
Bite the bullet. I just get it done. So,
Yeah.
I'm
But
actually going
this will I suppose I've aspirations to have one or two knives, as you know, because he does a range of knives.
Yeah. Are you a knife guy? Like, are you?
Yeah, like I wouldn't be a knife connoisseur. So when he was asking me questions, and I had to ask him, what do you mean there? So,
No,
the stainless steel finish. You asked the stone wash. I went for actually a gun blued finish.
So it's like a heat.
Yeah.
Deadly, yeah.
So it helps with the keeping the rust away from the knife.
Okay.
So yeah, that's the finish I went. But there's a variety of styles, a variety of handle finishes,
Deadly.
and then obviously with the sheath as well. You know, so this is it's a piece of art, but it's also a very functional piece of kit. So.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And I think what's a great idea, and I'll be honest with you, when I first saw them, I was kind of like, not yours now in particular, but I did see one that was done before, and it was a bright, almost a luminous green colour.
Yeah.
And I remember looking at it and going, oh jeez, don't know, but you know, it does make so much fucking sense. Like,
Yeah.
what's the point having a brown hand standing bowie knife, or do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even my own is made with like elk and elk bone or tusk or whatever, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, like, it looks cool as fuck. But you put it on the ground,
You won't see it.
you
Yeah.
won't fucking see it.
Yeah.
You will not see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that, you know. So but like that, I'm like your story. I love my knives. I like that. I don't know anything about them. I don't know the much ins and outs of them. But I
Yes.
appreciate a good knife and I see it like.
And hence why we'll have him on, and he can answer all of it. So again, if people have a few questions, or they want to get in touch with him, to find him on Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah.
Mountain Man Knives.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he's a really cool logo which he etches into the blade as well, which is cool.
Yeah.
And he's an avid hunter himself, so
Brilliant.
it's brilliant. And we're having a conversation, about what he had asked, why we do this, why we, and it's probably to get, we're slightly different than the conventional podcast in that we just keep it kind of a little bit more lighthearted view on all things.
Yeah.
So we'll be given the questions of people who are not probably, or on their peripheral hunters. What are the questions? Even I think when, I don't know whether you found this or not, but when you obviously shot with a shotgun for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
and then transition to a rifle,
Yeah.
it's daunting enough process, isn't it? Because even and I think it's more so with men. I think anyway. We tend not to ask the questions in case.
You think you're going to get injured?
Yeah.
100%.
Even though you're shooting with a shotgun,
Yeah.
same as myself.
Yeah.
But I don't want to, but like,
Yeah.
there's loads of, like we were talking during the difference between 6.5 by 55 and 65 Creedmoor,
Yeah.
and all them type of questions that we probably want to ask, but geez, I don't want to. You know what I mean? I want to seem like but like this is like I think I said it, like a photograph on the phone. Fucking amount of different calibers. So Jesus, you're going to be scientists on that element alone.
100%. Yeah.
So this is why we do what we're doing. It's more light-hearted insight into this type of stuff. So get your questions into us. If you want to ask him a question,
ask
how much? What's the cheapest knife he makes? What's the most expensive?
Yeah.
What are the decisions that need to be? Anything you want to know,
Without doubt.
get on to us. We'll be asking. We send all the questions next week or so.
Yeah, 100%. At it's the Irish Hunting Podcast at gmail.com, and if our email, you get us at the Irish Hunting Podcast on Instagram.
And we're also then our first video went live
On YouTube.
at the IHP on YouTube. So Kimmy Gannon's interview is live. You'll see what goes on at the start, the end. Yes, that's and we'll be adding to that. So it's we're live here at the minute we're recording, so that'll be going up just after I leave here.
Yeah.
So you can catch us on that, and you get to see our lovely mugs. A
A treat for you.
Yeah.
A rare treat on a Saturday.
You can put the phone in front of the fire, maybe keep the small kids away or something like that.
Exactly. Yeah. You lead there. You're this lifestyle. This way.
Don't go over the scary men. And you have some interesting news as well, Brenny.
Yes, for next week's podcast.
Yep.
Next week's podcast, we are been talking to Norman from the Irish Safaris. So this is kind of one that we've kind of been tying over the idea for a while. We get a lot of the podcast is we get a lot of attention from overseas, and we get a lot of questions from people from overseas. And I suppose in a lot of senses we don't realise how lucky we are. We don't realise how lucky we are with like the species that are here and the type of the landscape that is here, and like people, there's people over there, and we often look, I think the grass green, we often look at people over in say Colorado, different parts of the states, hunting, elk, moose, whitetail, different stuff like that, and I think, and they similarly look at us and go, oh my God, up there in the mountains after sika, after red stag, So we have got loads of questions from people coming from overseas want to come over here and to do ones. Involved. So we got a hold of Norman in the Irish Safari, so we're going to have an interview with him next week, and he is going to go through the nitty-gritty, the whole job lot, for any of our overseas listeners, or indeed any locals that want to go out on a local hunt, what's involved. And
this man is a wealth of knowledge.
Like we don't know him personally, but we just talk.
The good thing about him is very amenable. It doesn't make you feel like you're asking a silly question or a stupid question. Very amenable. So even for people here who might be wanting to try their hand at hunting.
Yeah, a great thing. Lads that perhaps don't have the permissions.
Yeah, or maybe who have the shotgun, like what I was saying, and probably a little bit, because there is a divide obviously between the deer hunting community and the traditional rough shooting community. Whether that's intentional or not, I don't know, but it is there. There's kind of two separate kind of.
100%.
But yeah, and it's to bridge that divide a little bit, and so if you're out there and you're no hunting experience, and I'm sure Norman, I'm talking a little bit out, but if you wanted to go along with him and experience it, he'd be more than amenable. He's a range of products there available to the suit, and it is. Bear in mind, and we all agreed, we were chatting just before we come on the podcast with him. He was out himself this morning and seeing nothing. The wind was crazy as we were talking.
Yeah.
And got nothing, and that's why it's called hunting, not shooting.
Exactly right. I think he's out with a couple of lads from Sweden, I think, or something this morning. So no, I cannot wait to chat to him. I think he's shot all over the world too, which is fantastic. So it'd be great to get
he's living the dream.
Living the dream is right, without a doubt. I suppose one other thing, obviously we're lamping, we're going to do more lamping. Any memorable lamping experiences or fox shooting experiences? Yeah,
this is there's always, I suppose, this will be the crack has actually started on our group there for tomorrow morning. You know, who's going to be the one to miss tomorrow? You know, and that's always the way. You know? And it's look, it's I think it's a bit of crack. You know.
Yeah, 100%.
So as I said, alluded to you, I hadn't done a lot of lamping. It'd be more kind of drives and stuff like that. But like that, it's always the misses, isn't it? You know, the guy who's
see, that's the drives is a devil, because there's a couple of lads on the line and there's a lot of effort goes into
driving. And there is a bit of pressure, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
But more so that the slagging, I suppose, that goes on afterwards, and we talked about it the other night. Like there's even myself and yourself were shooting together for the first time, and I think I said to you, if you're comfortable taking that shot at home, take it now, because you start to double question everything. To put it in perspective, like we weren't exactly shooting through a gap in a hedge here. We were shooting, down at the target, so it was a safer shot, and Brenny was even questioning, as would I. But and that's what makes good shooting, isn't it? Safe. And you are questioning everything. Is there something your back's up behind you? Is there behind you? All the usual questions. But yourself, Brenny, you have any?
No, I suppose a few, but it was just when you mentioned that, and I didn't actually mention it at the time. But I remember, like, as I was saying to you, like, so remember, you probably remember this. I was like, so what's in the next field? And you were explaining, oh no, you have a big field there, like, you've got kind of a hill beyond it, and then it goes on, and then there's an equestrian centre down the road, and then. But all that stuck out in my head was a question that I couldn't, do you know what I mean? I couldn't get it out of my head. All I kept thinking was, he said a question centre, you know?
So again, for people who were listening, thinking that we were shooting in the peripheral, so we were up on a kind of a slightly elevated platform, shooting down into a field.
Yeah, with a massive hill behind it.
And then there was a ditch that dropped, I think, 6 foot and maybe back up, but the far side of that ditch was most definitely probably a 6-7 foot incline, so it was the best place for, if it was set up a shooting range, just what it is, So, but that's the thing, isn't it? You start to question everything.
Exactly. When you're not used to it, you go, fucking.
That's the fucking difference, isn't it? Between the gun starts to,
shake and you'll automatically like I had a miss in that field, and automatically, the fox was there, he was in front of me, I had him up, and I think subconsciously I dipped the rifle. I was like,
you were overcompensating.
Right? I can see his eyes, so we'll go for the chest here, and I was overcompensating, and I'd say I dropped short on him.
And that is the most, like, the first thing when you said that fox was 20 yards away from me, I thought, Jesus Christ, it's nearly too close. So as you said there, 9 times out of 10 you're going to take that shot. You know what I mean? Probably 9.5 times out of 10. And it's the one time where you're but that's what makes it good.
You're better be making those calls and just going off.
Absolutely, a foot over them and not knowing where it's going.
100%, and it has happened. Like, believe it or believe it or not, I have heard stories of lads been out hunting and hit horses.
Yeah,
Sheep,
yeah.
or, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why we have all these insurances in place.
Yeah.
That's
Just on that point, Brendan, no, and we'll get back. Just on we're actually doing a big drive in the gun club this year, and I think for all gun clubs is important. Just with we're trying to take in land into the gun club, you know.
Yeah.
So why would farmers let us on their land, right? Well, we put up a sign, which I showed you lovely printed signs, which, you know, Derry Gun Club, no shooting. So it means that the permission on that land is solely for
Yes.
the gun club. And what that does for the farmer is, it means that any unauthorised people coming on that farm
Yeah.
with firearms,
Yeah.
they shouldn't be on it, and it takes the onus off the farmer.
Yeah.
So, in other words, any men that are on that should be members of the gun club, which are automatically insured in our situation anyway with the RGC,
Yes.
which means that if, God forbid, anything happened, an animal was knocked,
Yeah.
if you know, somebody getting over a fence and broke an ankle,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
you know what I mean, God forbid, somebody was getting over a fence and
Coming off.
gun went off,
Yeah.
which
Yeah,
shouldn't, you know, but does happen,
Yes.
that the farmer is covered.
Covered. 100%.
And with the NRRGC, and I do notice, because I've chatted them now again, I've tried to get the guys on, but we'll get them on, because they're going to be forced to come
Well,
on.
exactly. Why is what he's like it or not?
Yeah. The podcast is only getting bigger and better, lads, so,
Well, that's all,
you know what I mean, we'll shortly have your numbers. But yeah, to read, and I'm promoting this fact, they've really good insurances.
Yeah.
And that's what I've got loads of lovely signs. That's what we're taking in to the estate we're talking about, you know, because there is unauthorised shooters at the minute going around, and horse and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So no hunting, no shooting.
Mm-hmm.
That covers the farmer. Somebody walks onto that land, past that sign. There's a little bit of cover there from well, you know you shouldn't be on there because you're not a member of that club.
I do.
You're not insured, and that gives the farmer a little bit of peace of mind, you know.
Yeah, 100%.
You know?
Yeah, that's great. I actually never looked at it like that. But that does make perfect sense. Like, because you're essentially, it's his name as you know, you're putting up a sort of a
no trespassing
no
sign.
trespassing sign.
You know?
Essentially, you're saying look, we're taking responsibility. Any lad that's on this ground here will be a member of our club. You're on this ground. You're not a member of our club. You shouldn't be here.
Yeah.
You're all bets are off then. You're on your fucking own.
And then that covers then in the vermin control which we're talking about here. It means that when we're out taking care of the vermin for the aforementioned farmer, that all the men are insured.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So if God forbid a fox peeks up and for some unknown reason a bad shot or a stray shot or clips a sheep or a cow or a horse, as you said, that there's cover there.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, definitely, without a doubt. No, that's a great idea. That is an absolutely fantastic idea. Yeah. My stories. There's a few. I've been a lot of lamping for years. You know, we used to always, like when we were younger, we might say we were all apprentices. Me and all my mates, we started our time different things. Carpenters, I started time fitter, different things. But Saturday nights, if there wasn't money for beer, there was get a box of money there for a box of Horner rounds, and we'd head out with the lamp 2 or 3 in the morning. But I mentioned to her, I always remember this. We were out with a Mazda B2500, if anyone remembers them, the old Mazda pickups. We'd one of those and we were down on a stubble field, not too far from here, with the Hornet, and we were trying to call in 2 foxes from, I'd say, probably kicking the arse for 400 yards, I'd say. So we certainly weren't going to take a shot like.
Yeah.
Big wide open field, you know, everything was going right, but we just needed to get them to close the gap, you know. The wind wasn't really in our favour. We were in the Jeep. We didn't want to try and close the gap ourselves. You know, there was a few things. We were there was a tree kind of where we had pulled in, and it was kind of sheltering us from the moon.
The silhouette,
Yeah, had we got out there, you know. So we were calling, and they were kind of just messing around. They weren't coming anywhere. Geez, man, we were definitely calling for, I'd say, half an hour, and eventually I just said, oh, fuck this, come on, fucking wasting time, go here. And literally, now, this is no exaggeration, I walked around the front and the bonnet of the Jeep, and just behind the door, I had the passenger door left open, and literally, man, there was a big dog fox sitting there looking at me, and it
Where's me go?
exactly, it absolutely lived there. You know, I was not expecting it. I was just sitting there, absolutely terrified to shit on me. So,
Very good.
Needless to say, well running.
For people who don't understand, right, when we're talking here, so foxes, when we're talking about winding, we probably take it for granted, you know, same with deers and stuff, like they wind you. So if you have the wind in your face, and you're looking down the field, if you have the wind in your face and you see a fox, there's a good chance he has not winded you because he can't smell you. So the wind is essentially taking your scent and throwing it behind you. If the wind is at your back and there's a fox in front of you, he ain't going to be there for too much longer.
100%.
So you won't pick up a set of eyes generally if the wind is at your, at the back of your ears. So that's what we mean by winded. Then when we're calling, there's different calls.
Different calls you can use, you use it. I think most people will use like as a rabbit squeak. It's a rabbit, like, you know. Breed them at different times of year. Play around, around February to start to breed, I think, is it? So then you can use a dog or a vixen call, and that will work. My God, man, does that work? Fantastic. 100%. Actually, thanks for. We didn't go into that story. It's actually a Wild Hunter electronic caller I have. Got it about 2 years ago, and of course down the field the other night, and only when I landed back up to the van realised it was gone. And I mean, teams are in, and I was just like, it was killing me inside, but I was like, oh, just forget about it, never going to find it. And no Anthony, in fairness to him.
I didn't want to say to you, but Bernie actually texted me, just when any chance you go up and have, I had plans to go back out anyway, but I wasn't going to tell him in case I did, because I know the heartbreak that goes into when you lose a piece of kit. It's horrible, you know, because bad enough if you've used it out or it's worn out or something, you know. But so just as he was hopping the last gate, it obviously popped off the belt and had nestled in a little bit of grassy kind of mucky area. And obviously with the wind and rain, I was worried about, you know, being full of water, so I didn't turn it on, brought it back, put it beside the speaker beside the fire, just a little bit away, left it standing up, and I turned it on last night and it was running. Bang.
Thanks a million.
Which I actually came out without it.
No, it doesn't matter. Not sure.
But anyway.
I'll use them too next time. But it's that like, you know, around February when they start breeding, honestly, when you can give out a vixen call or a dog call, man, I almost go so far as to say, wind or no wind,
To come in.
they will come like a train. Oh man, I've seen it more times than absolutely.
And a couple of different calls. I have a little now call. Now this is a grey area, calls, because I have seen some. It could be outdated, and again, this is why we need the people in the RGC. You know, in terms of calls with foxes. Because there's a kind of a, you know, any electronic calls and stuff like that. I've read a document saying that they could be illegal, you know. But then on the other side, then if they're being of a nuisance to a farmer and stuff like that, you can use. So there's
two answers.
Two answers to that question, which absolutely. Is again, it's silly, you know. Because again, you know, from if for argument's sake, if farmers overrun foxes, well, the minute you go into the field, they're going to dissipate. So you need some sort of means of giving it swaying favour. So I have a mouth collar, as you know. And Rob Tracy, if you're listening to me, man, I'll name you. Just because he wondered who he was saying he was going to libel me, you know. But I'll call you out there, you know. It was very dismissive of my call, you know.
I didn't like it.
But it has worked.
It has worked on
three occasions now. So I use a mouth collar, and I've a neighbour of mine actually he's an old timer, showed me a way of, you know, hand calling if you're stuck. Just on the back of your hand. Wet the back of your hand, and a rabbit in distress, you know, squeal essentially. So a rabbit caught in a fence, or, you know,
loads of things.
Or a rabbit kind of being attacked, and it'll call in a fox. I think there's a bit of food about. And then also I think they used to use a bit of airborne glass.
Airborne glass, there's loads of things. Now I think actually when we used to go years ago, one of the lads, he was a smoker, and he used to, you know, the clear plastic you know the bit that on the cigarette
Yes,
box, you know,
yeah,
you
yeah,
tear
yeah.
out of it still on or not, and you pull that apart and blow through that,
Blow
and
through
you get
it.
a squeak out of it, like,
Yeah,
and I've seen that.
There you go, yeah.
I've definitely seen that working 110%,
Yeah.
you know, yeah. So I think
I won't do the mouth call just in case I got feck it up now, you know. You know, people ringing, and that wouldn't call, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
But it
Maybe
does.
a mentally ill folks.
Yeah, yeah. But it does. And I think the variance is key as well, because your mouth collar was different to mine.
Yeah, honest to God, yeah.
So it's just it's whatever spooks their interest that
Yeah,
night, you know.
100%, yeah, definitely, yeah, definitely. And then I suppose that I know we're kind of running out of time, but the thermals, like people ask why do you use a thermal? Well, there's people have saying this, and you can actually go one more now, but people will certainly agree with me saying this. A massive amount of foxes now have copped onto it, like.
Yeah.
You know, there's foxes out there, and like
Keep their head down and one.
100%. You bang a light on for a fox, at the minute that light comes on, he is bolting. You put out any squeak you want, any call you want, he ain't stopping. Other foxes, maybe the younger ones or ones that have been fired up for, or whatever the case may be, and they will stand to look at and they'll start to, you know, come closer. But you'll definitely know the ones that have been labbed before, you know. And then when we were down in Pulsar the other night, that was a day, John, was it?
Yeah,
John from works for Pulsar.
Pulsar, yeah.
Says to me that there have even some studies now say that they're copping onto the IRs. Yeah, they're actually copping on, because when you stand in front of an IR, although you can't, from a distance, you will see a faint kind of a red
tinge. He demonstrated that.
Yeah.
They just glance at you can see that little red kind of.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can't see it.
You can't see it. So that's why the
cameras. That's the thing, Brendan. Here's my dilemma. I'm in the minute of changing scope. Would you go thermal, or would you go
night vision?
Night vision.
You see, it's about the blank balance too. Like there's no doubt thermal is fantastic. Like it is absolutely fantastic. But like it's expensive. You know, you could be talking 3,000-4,000 euro. Like,
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? For like I wouldn't bring my scope, even though it's not that expensive, but I wouldn't bring it after a deer. I have my own element optics that will be on that for a deer. So you're spending 3,500 euros on a bit of kit that I would say you just use for foxes. You won't use it for a deer because it's too expensive, and you'll see some of the ground you're covering.
Yeah.
I mean, so for me, the night vision works fine for me.
So you've both you've night vision and day vision on that.
Night vision and day vision. You'll see, like you'll often get foxes now. Say area like we can get foxes during the summer, like you know, if you just hang it out on in the middle broad daylight. Yeah. And you will see them out moving, like, and you can get one too, like so it'll work for that either. But yeah, like Pulsar's class, but like you know, it depends on your budget. Depends if you can look at if you're like a lot of lads and like maybe myself and yourself, we do a lot of hunting, a bit of fishing. We don't really do a whole lot else. We're not big drinkers. We don't smoke. We don't, you know.
Yeah, and that's your thing. Like.
Yeah, exactly.
That's one of the guys down there actually said to me, like this. You know,
this is what we do.
You know,
exactly. Like there's mates of mine. They're big into football. They go to football matches and different things. You know, you know, fair play. But we don't do that. So I say if you have 3.5 and you want a top class, go for it.
Go for it. Yeah.
Go for it, man. 110%. But yeah, it really.
I think I was looking at the CX, wasn't it?
CX50. Yeah.
And that was under $1,000 sterling, wasn't it? 950, I think sterling.
Sterling, yeah.
But again, look, we'd love to actually.
We're going to test it out.
We have to.
After Christmas now, when the device are up to their eyes, in fairness, but we're going to get one on a demo.
Yeah. And
we're going to have a test of it and see, you know, because seeing it, like we'll give an honest review, but we'll get it out and we'll give an honest review. Love the Zero on it. The Zero is
One Shot Zero is phenomenal.
Fantastic, man. Brilliant.
Now I need to play around it because obviously when a rep is showing you, you just press this button here and you press it. But there's a lot of buttons to be pressed. You know?
Exactly.
But it's going to take a little bit of prodding around with to get used to.
Yeah.
What else have we coming up, Brian? So we've that's Irish Faries. We've Fran, Mountain Man Knives.
Yeah.
We're talking about just yesterday we're in talks with a chef who's also a renowned hunter, and so with game produce, and haven't just confirmed with him. I need to confirm with him today. He's a busy man, but he's going to give me a shout back he's interested in coming on, having a talk about, you know, bit of hunting obviously, and then the food element, and maybe on an ongoing basis might be able to dip in with a couple of recipes and stuff like that,
Absolutely.
that we can try out throughout the season. So that's exciting, you know. I'm really excited about that.
That's
you know?
brilliant, man. Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to that too. That's going to be class, in fairness, because we both there's two things we definitely have in common. Well, three things: we like whiskey, we love hunting, and we love eating. So yeah,
as you can probably tell.
As you can probably
Ours.
tell. Exactly. No,
Yeah.
It'd be great to have him on.
That'd be it'd just be phenomenal, because we're great. We do a lot of experimenting with foods and stuff like that. And you had my famous goujons the other night.
Man alive, actually, I don't know how I forgot, but they are savage.
Yeah.
I was even telling herself about them. I actually have two breasts there. I go on and actually might defrost them and have a go for myself.
Yeah.
Oh man, they were savage.
So I'll throw up the little recipe on Insta.
And even the mayonnaise you make, the garlic mayonnaise, put that in it too.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
I said to Brady, I'd left a couple because I knew once you have one, these are kind of like addictive little things, you know.
Yeah.
But we had them for the whole family. Had them that night. Very easy to make, like very easy to make.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But I think you had one. Give me another one then.
Oh.
And then I had another one, and then you had another one.
Unbelievable. And the main is when you combine the two together.
Yeah.
Like. The thing I suppose about pheasant is it's how would you say it, the texture, like people give it say on, but I think the texture is phenomenal.
It's phenomenal.
It's almost a mixture. The texture is between
a steak and a chicken.
Exactly right. Exactly. It's not tough. It's certainly not tough.
It's denser than chicken. Because chicken can almost peel.
Exactly. A bit of a bite.
Yeah, whereas you won't do that with pheasant. You know what I mean? It's just far.
That's exactly.
It's almost more nutrient dense. I don't know how, but that's what it feels like.
That's exactly.
Because you eat a lot less of them. I do know that because they're
100%.
very filling.
Oh, geez, 110% without a shadow.
But yeah, we've got a way to kind of just to soften them a little bit. Which we do.
Yeah.
I'll put that recipe up. So
yeah.
I might actually have a couple of goujons left, which I might, or sorry, a couple of breasts left that I might just.
Deadly.
What I'll do is I'll put up the recipe.
Yeah.
You're going to demonstrate on your breast then how easy it is to make.
100%. Yeah. I'll probably make an absolute bollocks.
You can't go wrong, Brady. You cannot go wrong.
Yeah, no,
we'll very simple.
We'll definitely give it a go. And I'll tell you, there's something, I was reading up a thing now, right? Now, I haven't even mentioned this to you, so I can't wait to see your reaction to this.
Go on.
I'm setting as a challenge over the Christmas period, okay? They do a thing in New Zealand, and I think it's the coolest thing ever. There's a slightly different, so it's a competition. So they have to, in one day, they have to come back with a wild boar, a brown trout, and something else. I'm not exactly sure what the third one is.
Brilliant.
But it's a competition that goes on all over New Zealand. It's a huge thing.
Deal, right?
So I'm setting as a challenge one day over the Christmas. We'll pick the day, we'll do live videos, we'll do the whole job lot on it. We bought in one day, we need a pike, okay, a pheasant, and a fox.
Okay.
And a 24-hour period. We pick the day.
Oh, come on. Fishing might be the thing, man.
Man, trust me, I'm not going to be any better off than you are.
Yeah.
So that's
right, okay, we'll do that.
We're going to set that as a challenge. I probably should have discussed that with you beforehand.
Thanks very much, man. That's a fucking great surprise. Need more whiskey, yeah?
We're setting a challenge, so that
might turn into a 48-hour challenge on my fishing skills. Even on my shooting skills, maybe.
Yeah, sure, look, it'll be a bit of crack.
Good stuff.
Exactly, yeah. So that's it, I suppose. Next week's episode, tune in. I know there's a lot of people who've been asking for this. We will have Irish Safaris here. Well, we'll have an interview with them. Any questions you want to ask, lads, get them into us. Do not be one bit shy. We can leave it anonymous if you want to even leave it anonymous.
Yeah, there's guys email or text us there on Instagram.
Yeah.
And emailing us. So just get them in.
110%. Yeah. And one final note, because I didn't probably say enough about them, is the Rural Pursuits magazine again.
Oh man,
lads, it's class. I'm just raging. I'd love there's another one out before Christmas.
Oh dude, I'm sorry I got mine early.
Yeah, no,
because I'm
kind
of jealous of the guys. I think they're coming. They're being delivered next week.
I think so. Next week, yeah.
I
it's
kind of,
isn't it?
I was telling you, I've been kind of nearly saving mine. I was actually messaging John because he was back and forth how did you find it, and I said, dude, I'm raging.
Yeah.
I'm doing like 2 pages.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
you're taking
An
it
advert
off
or something. Yeah.
It
One
is
page at a
brilliant.
time.
And for
Brilliant.
under a tenner, lads.
Yeah,
This,
honest to
this
Jesus.
is more of a book than a magazine.
Man, I won't name it. I bought a magazine, and I probably shouldn't, but I bought another magazine here last week in Tesco's, right? And it was, I think it was €9 anyway, right? And honest to God, I'd say if I counted it up, and there was about 4 pages of actual information, and the rest was all ads,
Yeah.
non-stop, same stuff on it the whole time. You look at the cover, you think, I'll give it a go anyway.
Yeah.
Jesus, Sean's is fantastic, like, it's brilliant, like,
It
there's something
is.
for everyone.
We're not getting
Just no.
anything out of this deal
Oh no,
other than telling people
yeah,
for the range of,
yeah.
there's a bit of fishing, there's a bit about pointers and setters without giving too much away.
And there's a couple of deadly stories.
Stories,
And I think there's stories in it that we can all relate to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's why I love. I say I put up a picture of the glass of wine, the fire lit, and
Can't be.
oh man,
Heaven, man.
Yeah.
Absolute heaven, isn't it? Yeah.
get another one out, buddy.
Get another one out. Get going. And anybody that hasn't got their orders in, I don't think if it's not too late to do so.
Yeah, get them in. Get them in for Christmas, like even for a present for if
Anyone,
you know
like,
yeah.
You know, in fairness, isn't
Yeah.
it? Like I'm sure my own parents, and they're not into the whole, but there's stuff on that they would genuinely
Definitely be interested.
Yeah, 100%, without a doubt. So it's a local, homegrown Irish made. So get behind them.
Yeah.
Get behind them. So that's it, man.
Deadly stuff, Brendan. Over and out, buddy.
Episode 9 wrapped up. Yeah, if you're heading out, the best of luck and happy hunting.
Keep safe. Yep.
Keep the country. Take it easy.
Deadly stuff, boys.
Done.